Yeah, so I mean, this is even the heart of the whole stuff. You said it all. That is, it's there's a general perception around the use of trusts, for tax avoidance and even sometimes aggressive one at that. So there's a thin line between aggressive tax avoidance and sometimes tax evasion. So there's a thin line. Even though we say tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is not. Right? But when it becomes too aggressive, especially like the use of trust and other vehicles, so it's even deemed to be evasion. All right. So the reform, like you also pointed out, has made the opacity of trust, has I kind of dismembered it, so to say, such that it is now going beyond. We're not going beyond just looking at the trust itself, but looking at even those actors within the trust. For example, like you mentioned, where the settlers are controlling and also benefiting. So income generally will be attributable to them, unlike what it used to be. All right. So if you look at the whole idea around this is to ensure that uh, those vehicles doesn't continue to become uh, conduits for profit shifting or for evasion, right? Because if you look at, I don't know, of course, you are aware of the various, I would say, corporate tax scandals that has happened in the past. Things like the Panama leaks. You've heard of the Pandora leaks. You've heard of the I call them the three Ps: Paradise, Pandora, and Panama. Right. So those are actually usually associated with the use of trusts, right, to build very complex and complicated structures that you cannot even see through and know who are the beneficiaries, who truly is behind those vehicles. So, and that is what government is also trying to have some level of visibility into what happens. So, this is also, we can link this to what we call the beneficial ownership register, which I mentioned earlier, that even a lot of push by the global community to ensure that um, high net worth individuals no longer continue to use all of these vehicles to shield them. You can usually use as shelters, right, to shield themselves from paying taxes. So, and that is why there's increased pressure on ensuring that countries comply. In fact, the Global Forum on Transparency and Exchange of Information, which is an arm of the OECD, has a way of doing what they call peer review of countries that are compliant. And the NRS, for a long time, has been working together with this particular organ of the OECD, which, of course, periodically try to check to ensure that the various high net worth individuals that's operating, that their income is actually subjected to tax. Because a lot of them are actually outside the tax net, living the middle, if there's anything like middle income or middle class, and then the poor people to be the one facing the brunt. So I think that's what the law is trying to do. But so it is no longer, it's no longer news that, like we said from the beginning, that no hiding place any longer, including trust, which has always been, I would call the rock of ages, where you can always hide in the past. Because when it comes to taxation of trust, it has always been a challenge globally. I'm talking about a global challenge. So, but again, there's increased demand to make it more transparent and see through, like you call it.
So, what is the comfort to Nigerians? What is the comfort to individuals seeking to use these structures or even the existing ones that they have?
Yeah, so what I was saying is that I said the law is, I mean, the guidance we are expecting I believe, will be out soon, whereby we'll be able to see clearly what um, the people that have this kind of structures are expected to do going forward. Right? So the law, the provision, the framework is already there, right? But again, the details on how they will be expected to comply I'm sure will follow. So both from the individual state internal revenue services and as well as the NRS, so that nobody will say they are not aware of what exactly they do. Because an efficient tax system will always ensure that the taxpayers are educated and properly guided, so that nobody runs foul of the law for lack of want of or for want of what to do exactly. So thank you.